Hi, it's Ron again, still on my trip. This is day 2 of my trip from Fort Myers back home to Houston, and I am in Mobile, Alabama at the supercharger, and I'm completely charging the car up today. Normally, when I stop at a supercharger, and I've been through like 5 now, I don't completely charge the car up. I don't what they call range charge. If you ever hear a Tesla person talking about charging and they say, "Are you doing a range charge?" That's like 100%. Normally, you only go to about 80, and that takes you about 20 minutes on a supercharger. If you want to go range, it takes you about an hour because the charging slows down the closer to full the battery is. But I'm doing a range charge because this next one, Mobile, Alabama to Baton Rouge, is 190 some miles, which is the longest distance in this part of the trip. And they're actually building another supercharger in the middle in Slidell, Louisiana. There's going to be a charger in the middle, so you wouldn't have to go that far without recharging. But for me, it's also a good test because the distance is almost exactly what it is from Waco to Abilene home, and Waco is the last supercharger before I can get home because there's nothing out in West Texas. Hopefully, we can fix that. There are plans to put things out in West Texas. But one of the things I wanted to talk about, and I may like cut some stuff together, maybe at the next supercharger where I'm waiting for my almost dead battery or almost empty battery to recharge, I will cut this together with some video I shot yesterday while waiting at another supercharger. But one of the things I want to talk about was habits and how we have these habits and how things are very weird because of the habits you already have. For instance, I'm on this is like a total aside, okay? I'm on this low carb diet. So I have not drank full sugar soda in like 2 months. And I was on the airplane flying to Fort Myers, and the stewardess comes by and she says, "Mr. Davis, do you want a drink? Because you have a complimentary drink." That is because of something I did with my ticket. And I was smart enough. I was like, no, I don't want a drink because, alcohol is not low carb. I didn't tell her that. But I said, no, I'm fine. Just give me a ginger ale. Because for some reason, and I don't know why this is, the only time I ever drink ginger ale is when I'm on an airplane. But it's a complete habit. So anytime I'm on an airplane, at least when headed away from Texas. If they're heading to Texas, I might get a Dr. Pepper. But away from Texas, I always order ginger ale. So I just said it without even thinking about it. And I'm drinking my ginger ale. And I'm about halfway through, and I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, crap. Am I going to edit these? Okay. Oh, crap. I just drank a full sugar drink. So, anyway, we have these habits and we don't even think about them. Well, when you get a Tesla, you discover habits that you have that suddenly seem weird because they don't work with your car anymore. So here are a few of them, and actually an interesting thing about what I'm doing with my car, in my Tesla, is I'm sitting at the supercharger, so I'm not driving this time, and I actually have Evernote up on the main screen, which is down here, and it has my notes for the habits that I've been noticing in the last couple of days. So I'm reading that while I'm videoing this on my phone. Now, one habit that you have, and you will probably continue to have, that I kind of have and have noticed myself doing, and is totally irrelevant to me, is looking at gas prices. So when I'm driving on a road trip and I pass a gas station, they put up a big sign with the sign, and I'm like, okay, that is more than Abilene, that's less than Abilene, is that going to be more than where I'm going, is that less than where I'm going? You're always kind of checking them, and is it bigger in this state, is it higher in this state, is it lower in this state? You're always kind of checking those. Even if you don't need gas, you're still checking those. And I find myself doing that too. I'll say like, oh, it's only 170 in Florida. Well, wait a minute, that's higher in Texas. And so, it's funny. I still look at gas prices, even though I have not stopped at a gas station on this whole trip. It's actually kind of my deal. Even when I need to eat something, I would rather, to get a snack or something, you could stop at a gas station. I normally go somewhere else just because I want to make this whole trip without a gas station. And by the way, I have the windows kind of rolled down, the sunroof vented so that I get a little airflow through here while I'm doing this. I could turn on the climate control, but hey, why not? Plus, I thought the sunroof was cool, so I turned it on. Number 2, and this is actually the biggest thing with a Tesla, the biggest habit that you have to break is turning the car off. Okay, there is no turning the car on or turning the car off. If you want to turn the car off, you put the car in park, okay, and you get out and you walk away. There's no button. There's no on-off button up here on the dashboard. Doesn't exist. If you're sitting in the seat and the car will turn, and you put your foot on the brake, the car turns on. Turn it off. There is you can dig down in a menu and say, turn the car off if you really want to. But really, you just get up and you walk away. which gives us habit number 3, which is locking your doors. I don't know if you can see, you probably can see, this is the back end of my door right here. And what is missing up here? Bonk. No lock thingy that sticks up. But that's okay, a lot of cars don't have locks. Well, you can't see it, but up here, there's no lock either. There's no lock anywhere on this door, okay? The way you lock the car is you get up and you walk away. And when you get far enough away, the door handles pop in and the door car locks and it turns itself off. So that is another habit, locking the doors, which I kind of do. I do it so habitually on my other cars that's how you lock your keys in your car. Because I just get out of the car and I'm not even thinking about it and I lock my keys in the car. You know, I just hit the lock button, and if I happen to have decided to do something where I left my keys sitting on the seat next to me or something, then I will have locked the car. But that can't happen in the Tesla. First of all, you never take your keys out. It's like a lot of other cars in that main. You have your key fob. It's in your pocket. Matter of fact, maybe I'll show off the key fob, since that's like a cool thing too. Key fob. This key fob is actually got a little leather holder with a T on it. It was given by the other owner. But I think they give people these all the time now, because I think I saw a new car walkthrough where they give them. They didn't used to. And the cool thing about the little holder is that it has a key ring, so you can put the rest of your keys on it. But the key fob itself, as everybody will probably tell you, looks like the car. So this is the fob of the car. And so if you double tap the hood, then the front will open. If you double tap this, it opens the sunroof. The sunroof is open, but I already had it vented, so it doesn't really do anything. If I hold it, no, there's something else. And then if I were to tap the back, it would open the rear. What if it'll open the rear, and you can see that just a little bit. See, there goes the rear. Open the rear. I'm funny. Mine actually has the option to have the power lift gate. Not all of them have the power lift gate, but I think a lot of them have power lift gates. Kind of like most of them have the pano roof, even though that's an option too. So anyway, that's the key fob, which is always in my pocket. I actually have 2 key fobs because it comes with 2. When I get home, one of the key fobs will go somewhere in the house, or it'll go in my wife's purse, and it won't be in my pocket anymore. But I certainly cannot take the key fob and leave it in the car and then walk away, because then there'll always be a key fob in the car, and I don't know if it will lock. I should test that. I'll have to find that out. And the last thing, the last habit you have, kind of informs a new habit that you're going to have with the Tesla. And that is when you're filling the car up. So can you imagine going to your gas station, taking the gas pump, putting it in the gas thing, turning it on, and walking away from your car for 20 minutes? No, that would be insane, because you come back and your car is going to be engulfed in flames. So, but when you go to a supercharger, you go to the supercharger, you plug your car in, the light starts blinking green, and it says it's starting to charge, and then you walk away for 20 minutes. The car locks itself. Turns out when it locks itself, it locks the charger in, the actual charger into the car. The other thing is you can't drive away with it still plugged in. The car will not go into drive. It will say, you're still plugged in. Actually, it will say charge port open, because even if you leave the little flipper thing, charge port open, it will say charge port open on my car. I think the latest models actually have a power thing on the charge port, and they'll close the charge port, but mine doesn't do that. So that's another new habit that you have with the Tesla. And I want to talk about another new habit that I have discovered that's the pro and the con of autopilot. First of all, autopilot is the bomb. It is great on a highway. It is almost even greater in stop and go traffic, because it's just driving for you and you don't have to deal with all the crap of stop and go traffic. So that's one way it's the bomb. The other thing about it, though, is you get used to it, okay? And the fact is, everybody does distracting things in their car, okay? Whether that is searching for something on your GPS, you know, texting is the big one, all this other stuff. You do distracting things in your car. And I think that is the time to use autopilot, is when you're getting ready to do something distracting. But the bad habit that I got almost immediately, and I've had to try and train myself out of, is forgetting that autopilot isn't on. So I was letting the car drive so much that sometimes I would have the cruise control on, but not the autopilot. And the car's got pretty good alignment, so generally it would stay in the lane even if I stopped paying attention. And then I would realize the car is weaving. I'm like, oh crap, autopilot's not on. So you have to think, you have to like really have a conscious mindset that autopilot is on or off. I'll give you one more negative about autopilot, in my opinion. This is my opinion, you know, it may be a feature, not a bug, but there's no way to turn autopilot off without turning off cruise control as well, except to steer. So if like you get the car and you turn the wheel, you know, it'll resist you for a minute and then it lets go. And so you like, boom, and now you've got control. But the problem is it makes the car move. So you have to push it hard enough, and you push it hard enough that when it releases and lets the wheel go back to normal, because there's a little resistance when autopilot is in charge. Well, let's go back to normal. You'll actually like go like that, and that actually the car moves. And I really don't like that. I think you can do this thing where you turn everything off, where you flip the little lever forward and it turns everything off. It would be kind of, and then you can like maybe get a sequence where you turn everything off and you turn cruise control back on, like when you go flip or something. I don't know. Still working on that one. So anyway, those are some new habits that we have here in the Tesla, and some old habits that the Tesla makes you break, like looking at gas prices, turning the car off, leaving it plugged in when you're not near it, and oh, I missed one. See, I was looking at my notes here. I missed one. Not battening things down. Look, I drove a Saturn Vue before this, which is not the world's fastest car, so I threw stuff in the back seat, in the floorboard, all the time. No big deal. It's a deal. Matter of fact, it's a deal for things in the trunk in this car. Because when you need to go, or you need to take off, things are going to be sliding around in this car. So anyway, I'm just saying. Well, anyway, I'm Ron. I'm at the Mobile, Alabama Supercharger Station, and this is just another little entry on my trip, my new Tesla, and my trip from Fort Myers, Florida to Abilene, Texas. Till next time, bye.